As I have worked toward a simpler, happier life, I have noticed one thing that can quietly make things more difficult, and that is guilt. Sometimes we carry guilt for things that actually make our lives better just because they don't match what is seen as normal or productive. And other times, that guilt comes from going against our own expectations about how we should spend our time, what simplifying life is supposed to look like, or what it means to live intentionally. So in this video, I want to share 15 things I have personally stopped feeling guilty about to make my life feel a little lighter, calmer, and happier. I am sure some of them will feel familiar to you, and maybe it's time you stopped feeling bad about them as well. The first one is loving the days when nothing is happening. There was a time when having nothing planned made me feel a bit uncomfortable, like I was wasting time if a day wasn't packed with purpose or with something productive. I thought I should be doing something better with my time. But now when I see a completely empty day on my calendar, I actually feel relieved. Like there's no stress, no meetings, no social plans I have to prepare for, just space. I often feel uneasy when my weekend is full of things, even if they are good things. So when a day comes with nothing on it, I actually enjoy it fully. I get to wake up slowly and decide every hour what feels good and what I want to do. So these days, I like to think the day without plans doesn't mean my life is empty at all. It just means I have made room for life to come to me instead of always chasing something more. 2. Not spending when everyone else is. Sometimes I'm with friends or family and it feels like everyone is spending money. Restaurants, drinks, food delivery, new games, weekend trips. As someone who likes to live frugally, I used to feel quite awkward in those moments, like I was being cheap or boring or too serious about money. It felt like I had to say yes just to stay connected, just to be there. I didn't want to seem like the one who was always holding back, but over time, I've gotten way more confident in this. I don't need to prove anything by matching what others spend these days. Especially now that I'm more grounded in a more minimalist mindset, I can say no without second guessing it always. I have learned that the human connection or belonging is not about money. It's not about spending the same as other people. It's about showing up as yourself. And sometimes showing up means knowing when something just isn't right for you. And even if it's not the same as other people, usually people respect that authenticity. 3. Spending a lot of money when I find something really valuable. So yeah, I don't spend very often, but when I do, it's usually something that really matters to me. And sometimes that means spending a lot more than people expect from someone who lives simply. Even though I live quite frugally, there are moments when I find something that could truly help me or make my life easier, calmer, or better in some way. Even I used to second guess those choices myself in the past, like, should I really be buying this? Is this still minimalist of me? But now I have learned that simple living minimalism isn't about spending less. It's about spending better. If something adds long-term value to my life, whether it's a tool, a service, or even an experience, then it's worth it. Of course, I still compare prices. Of course, still I make intentional choices, take my time and avoid buying impulsively. I don't just throw like hundreds or thousands at something without thinking, but when I do say yes, I try not to feel guilty, because those few intentional yeses often make the biggest difference. 4. Choosing the easy option sometimes. There are times when I know the harder choice might lead to more growth or better results, but still I choose the easy option, just because I simply don't have the capacity in that moment to do anything else. There's a big difference, I think, between avoiding effort and choosing peace. Sometimes doing the hard and impressive thing is right, but other times it is not needed. It's okay to take the lighter route, the one that is more gentle, the one that doesn't drain me just to prove a point. Not everything needs to be maximized, improved, or pushed to the limit, and I have found that some of the smartest decisions I have made were the ones that felt the easiest for me. Number 5. Working long hours if I'm in a good flow. One thing that's helped me simplify my life is setting clear work boundaries. Cut-off times, breaks, not working too late into the night. I try to avoid doing too much or slipping into a burnout mode. But sometimes I get into a really good flow, especially when I'm planning videos or coming up with new ideas for my guides. During those times, I often break my own rules actually. I skip the break. I keep going past dinner time, and honestly, I enjoy that. When I'm in that kind of focused, creative space, I don't want to stop. And I have learned that that's also okay. I don't need to force balance when work feels very meaningful and light. I feel like the point of simple living is not to avoid work. It's to do the right kind of work in the right state of mind. Like I have said before in my videos, I don't judge my life by how many hours I worked. I judge it by how I felt while working. And if it felt aligned, that's what matters most. Number 6. Hanging up on telemarketers. I used to sit through the whole pitch from telemarketers, cold callers, just to be polite. I think a lot of people do that. We don't want to be rude, so we let them talk, even if we already know we are not interested in whatever they are selling. But these days, I don't do that anymore. Now I just hang up without any guilt. Usually I say like, thank you, but no thank you though, or something like that. Because I don't owe them anything. Like I don't owe them my time just because they called me. My energy and attention are mine, and I have learned to protect them without needing to over-explain or be overly polite about it. And if they think that hanging up is rude, then they are free not to call again. I will take that as a win. The 7th one is not using every item I own regularly. As a minimalist, I often talk about decluttering and making sure your home is not filled with stuff you don't use. But the thing is, not every item has to be used daily or weekly or even monthly to be worth keeping. Some things are there for just peace of mind. I have tools I only use once or twice a year, but when I need them, I'm really glad they are there, like a flashlight, a small toolkit, power bank, a raincoat for when I actually want to go out in the rain without an umbrella. I don't need to constantly prove an item's worth by using it every week. If it earns its place by making my life easier or simpler in some way, then that is enough. Of course, you still need to know where the line is. Otherwise, your home slowly fills up with clutter and these maybe one day things. If you are living with someone who has trouble knowing this line or doesn't care about this line, but you really do, then check out my new guide, Simple Living with Non-Minimalists, the ultimate guide. It will give you practical tools to find balance, even in shared spaces. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. Sleeping more just because I can. Because of the work I do now, I don't need to wake up early anymore. And this changed my rhythm quite a lot. These days I sleep at least 8 hours a night, and quite often even more than that. I used to feel really guilty about that, like I was wasting a part of the day, especially when you hear people talking about their 5 a.m. routines or how you should win the day before 7 a.m. But my rhythm is different. When I sleep well, I feel better. I have more energy, more focus, and I rarely get that heavy, tired feeling in the afternoon anymore. My life quality is just so much better this way. I think some mornings getting more rest is the most productive thing I can actually do. So if my body asks for it, I listen. I don't need to justify it to anyone, not even myself. Number 9, skipping workouts. I used to think that skipping a workout was always a mistake, like it meant I was weak, lazy, or ruining my progress. There's a lot of talk about how consistency is everything, and if you want results, you need to push through no matter what, and you need to still go for it. But after multiple injuries and a few burned out seasons when it comes to exercising, I've learned that skipping a workout or a run can actually be the wisest choice. Some days I just need to do nothing in order to keep going tomorrow. So skipping a workout doesn't make me less consistent. I think it makes me more sustainable, which will help me to stay more consistent in the long run. Trying and failing. I have tried new hobbies, new habits, new routines, and completely missed the mark. I have set goals and not reached them. I have planned something very carefully and watched it fall apart. And for a long time, I felt bad about that. Like I had wasted time or that I just should have known better. But now, even if I fail, if I know that I have done my best, I don't feel guilty anymore. What I have learned is that you are either winning or learning, never losing. So you don't lose unless you stop trying. I know it's kinda cliche thing, but it has really helped me during those hard times. I would rather try and fail than sit on the sidelines wondering what might have happened. I don't regret the things that didn't work. I think I would regret much more never giving them a shot and trying my best. 11. Still wanting more. I live a pretty simple, ordinary life, but that doesn't mean that I have stopped wanting more. I still catch myself imagining a bigger and better life. And for a while, I have to say I actually felt guilty about even thinking about that. Like I was breaking some unspoken rule of minimalism or simple living. If I had already enough as I do, then why did I still want more? But now in my journey, I have come to realize that wanting more is not a failure. It's just part of being human. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Our brains are wired to want. We are shaped by culture, society, history, and biology to seek the next thing, to seek something better. So these days, I don't want to shame the wanting, the thoughts. I want to just listen to it, listen to them, and ask where are they coming from? And often it's not even greed, it's curiosity, growth, and possibility. So a reminder for my minimalist friends and my future self, minimalism isn't about never wanting. It's about knowing the difference between wanting something just out of habit or because of your ego and wanting something meaningful for a good reason. 12. Not knowing what I will do next week or even tomorrow. People ask me sometimes if I'm available someday, like 2 months from now. And usually I just laugh because I have no idea what I will do then. Because I don't know what I will do even next week or sometimes not even maybe tomorrow. I used to feel that I should have things figured out better or better scheduled when it comes to this. But these days I'm just trying to live more aligned with how I like things. I'm a person that likes to have a direction, some vision, and a to-do list, but not a clear plan and schedules all the time, especially for days, weeks, or even months from now. 13. Listening to useless podcasts. So lately I've been listening to this podcast where two people just talk about their lives. There's nothing educational, no lessons, no expert advice. It's basically useless if you look at it from the point of view of how time is spent. So of course, at first, I felt a little weird about it. Like, I was just wasting time listening to this and I could be doing something more educational, meaningful, or valuable. Especially since I like to live very intentionally, it felt quite a bit out of place. But then I noticed how calm I felt after those episodes, how soft my mood was, how lightly I was taking life after that. I wasn't learning anything new, but I just felt better, more human and less tense. So the takeaway from this was that not everything needs to be extremely well spent or improve me in some way. Some things are just there to soften the day. I don't think that that's actually a waste of time at all now when I think of it listening to that podcast. In fact, I think all of us need that sometimes. Sometimes the thing that seems the most useless are exactly the things that keep us feeling joyful and that are making life lighter and not so serious. 14. Not replying to all my YouTube comments. When I started YouTube, I had this personal goal to reply to every single comment I got. It felt like the right thing to do, especially when people really take time to write something kind or thoughtful. But now that I get dozens of comments every single day, I simply cannot keep up, which is shame, but I guess it's also a good problem to have. I still wish I had extra hours in my 24-hour days to read them and reply to all of them, but if I want to keep creating new content, I have to protect my time and energy too. So now I try to reply to as many as I can when I publish a new video, and I usually read way more than I respond to. So even if you don't get a reply, it doesn't mean I didn't notice. I still see you, I still really appreciate it. I just also need to protect the calm that helps me keep showing up. I am sure you understand this, so this is a reminder for myself as well. 15. Not showing joy on the outside. Sometimes I feel really happy, but from the outside you wouldn't know it. I'm not always that expressive. Some days I feel joy in a very quiet way. I used to wonder if that was a problem, like maybe I came out as too serious, and I think sometimes I still do come across very serious, but now I have learned that this is just basically how I am, an introverted human being. So just because I don't always smile or act excited doesn't mean that I'm not feeling something. My joy doesn't need to be so loud or obvious as other people's. If it feels real inside, I think that is enough. If you would like to see some more things I quit to simplify my life, check out this video next. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one.